Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Rhianna and I like to talk about books on this channel. So today I want to talk about some book to movie adaptations that are coming out in 2025 that I'm really excited about. As you know, recently I've been really enjoying going to the cinema because it's so much fun to just allow yourself to forget everything that's going through your head, all your worries, all your thoughts, and just watch a screen and allow the story to just hit you in the face and to just be completely immersed in it. So fun. And also I'm sure that there are quite a lot of book to movie adaptations that are coming out in 2025. I've done a bit of research as to what is coming out. I'm just going to talk about 6 films that I'm most excited about to see that are book to movie adaptations in 2025. But if you know of others, please let me know. So the first movie is How to Train Your Dragon, which is based on the book by Cressida Cowell, and this is also adapted from the animation that came out quite a while ago now. And this movie is also directed by Dean DeBlois, who directed the first 2 How to Train Your Dragon animated movies. And I've seen the trailer and I think it looks really magical and fun, just like the animation is. I think sometimes live actions feel sometimes a bit unnecessary because the animation is so good, but I think it really looks cool to see the story come to life with real people and like the dragons looking really realistic. That's cool. And I'm also reading How to Train Your Dragon, the book, at the moment, and it's quite interesting to see the differences between the book and the movie. The book of How to Train Your Dragon is very different to what the movie is. So in the movie, for example, the Vikings fight dragons and they try to kill dragons, and then it's quite different when Hiccup, the main character, decides to actually try to train his dragon and not fight it. Whereas in the book, it's not like that at all. In the book, the Vikings actually do train the dragons, and there is a famous book called How to Train a Dragon in the book, which isn't particularly helpful. So Hiccup is learning to train his dragon with all the other Vikings of his age who are also trying to train their dragons. So it's quite interesting to see the difference between the book and the movie, and to see that even if you stray far away from the original source material, the movie can still be really good. Next one is Klara and the Sun, which is based on the novel by Kazuo Ishiguro. And I've not actually read this one, but I do love Kazuo Ishiguro. I've read Never Let Me Go and Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, and Klara and the Sun is on my TBR list for spring. I have it on my library app and it's going to be available in a few months, and then I'll give it a read. And this story is told from the perspective of Klara, who is a robot. And I find stories about artificial intelligence very interesting. They're very topical and relevant to the modern world. I think with all the progression of AI and ChatGPT, I think it's quite important to tell stories about artificial intelligence. And this film is also directed by Taika Waititi, who directed really great films like What We Do in the Shadows and Jojo Rabbit, and yeah, I think it could be a really great one. Okay, next I'm excited for The Thursday Murder Club, which is based on the novel by Richard Osman. I read this a few weeks ago and it really impressed me. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because I hadn't read any cozy crime before, but I actually really enjoyed it. I found it so wholesome and I got really connected to the characters. It was also very funny and I found myself really drawn to the story. I kept wanting to pick it up because it was making me feel really happy. And how amazing is it when you find a book that makes you happy? That, you know, we can't ask for more than that. And this movie also has some really talented people associated with it. Chris Columbus, the director of the first 2 Harry Potter films, is the director. It also has an amazing cast. We have Celia Imrie playing Joyce and Helen Mirren playing Elizabeth, and his name, something, it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me in a minute. Okay, I did have to look it up. Ben Kingsley. It escaped my mind. Ben Kingsley is going to play Ibrahim, and Pierce Brosnan is going to play Ron. God, I used to be able to remember things so well. It's getting harder in my old age. So a great director, a great cast, and I think this story also can be liked by anyone. I think it has a bit for everyone in it, because it's funny and heartwarming, and also a page turner because it's a mystery and you've got to find out who the culprit of the crime is, and yeah, I think it's got a lot going for it. I think it could be very successful. Next is Frankenstein, which is based on the Mary Shelley novel. Now there have been lots of iterations of Frankenstein, but why this one is noteworthy is that it's going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, who is probably like in my top 3 directors working today. He made Shape of Water, which I loved, and Pan's Labyrinth, which is just one of my favourite films of all time. And I think his films have such a beautiful design. They're really mesmerising and fantastical, and they really draw you in and make you feel like you've really entered another world. This also has a great cast. We have Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster, we have Mia Goth and Christoph Waltz, and I think this one, I mean, it's got a lot going for it. I think it will be great. Okay, we also have Hamnet, which is based on Maggie O'Farrell's historical fiction novel, which looks at William Shakespeare, but not just William Shakespeare in like his life. It's not a biography. I haven't read this novel, but from my understanding, it's about William Shakespeare and his wife and their difficulty, the difficulty they experienced when they lost their young child, Hamnet. And so I'm really excited to read this novel. I have it ready to read. It's gonna happen in the next few weeks, I hope. And it intrigues me because I think historical fiction about someone like William Shakespeare would traditionally or typically focus on like William Shakespeare's life and the plays that he wrote and that kind of thing. So it's quite interesting that Maggie O'Farrell took a different approach and that she looks at William Shakespeare through the lens of grief. Okay, my camera died, I'm now back. So this film is also directed by Chloe Zhao, who directed No Man Land with Frances McDormand, and I really enjoyed that film because it really took its time and lingered on moments, and I found it very like mindful and calming, and I think that Chloe Zhao is a fantastic director, so I'm excited to see what she'll do with the story. We also have Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley in this film, which are two of my favourite actors, so I need to get on it and read the book. And finally, I also wanted to mention Hot Milk, which is based on Deborah Levy's novel, and I have been wanting to read Deborah Levy for a while, and so this is going to push me to finally try one of her books. From my understanding, this story is about a mother and a daughter and their strained relationship, and also the plot seems to be the mother and daughter go to another country to try and find a cure for the mother's illness, and so it seems like a mother and daughter drama, but I think it also perhaps has moments of like metaphor and maybe moments where it's not so clear what is going on. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I'm not sure if that's the case. I'll need to read it and let you know my thoughts. Okay, so those are the book to movie adaptations that I wanted to talk about. Let me know if you're excited for any of these. Any other book to movie adaptations I need to be on the lookout for coming in 2025. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye bye.